It's Big Marv!
In the World Wide Web, they call the internet, with different types of social media. Store the information sort of like encyclopedia.
Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Big Marv here, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Big Marv's Network. Tonight, hanging out with me, I got my man Alan Dean, the founder and creator of the awesome Friend or Foe extension. So, Alan, welcome to the show tonight, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Thanks for having me back again. Appreciate it.
Of course. So tell us a little bit about your entrepreneur journey and how you got started in this space.
Sure, man. Yeah, we didn't go into any of that the last time. So I guess kind of starting with the digital space. I've only been in the digital space for just barely over a year now. Prior to that, and actually still continuing right now, my regular 9 to 5, if you will, I still work a regular job that's in the heating and air conditioning industry. And in that industry, I've done over $20 million in sales personally. So that's been pretty much, my main industry. My entire working life has been heating and air conditioning. I owned my own company for many years, and a multi-million-dollar company, built it from the ground, literally working from out of my house to a 5,000 square foot office, and built it from nothing. And when we started having kids, I was just running your own company like that just takes up so much time. It's unreal how much time it really takes to be successful at a company like that. And we just realized that, and I did not want to be that dad that, was not there for their kids growing up, that dad that didn't throw the baseball, the football with them, or whatever, right? And so, kind of long story short, I also had a business partner, and just decided that the best thing to do would be to sell the company and, work for someone else essentially, so that I could be at home and do the things that I wanted to do with my family. So that's what I did. Sold the company, and I had a 3-year contract. It was really more of a merge than anything. And I contacted another big company. We merged the two companies together. I had a 3-year contract to stay on board with them after the merge. I stayed for 3.5 years, and then I came to where I'm at now, where I'm the boss. I run the show, if you will. But so I have leisure. I'm pretty blessed. I just come and go as I please. Come home when I want. Go to work when I want, and all that. But that's what I do. And so about a year ago, my wife, who has worked the same job for over 20 years. As long as I've known her, she's worked the same job. And about a year ago, she came to me with similar things. She said, kind of had it. I'm done with this working. I'm not getting home till 8 o'clock at night, and the kids are in bed by 8:30. I'm not getting spending time with my kids, and I'm ready to quit working and be a full-time stay-at-home mom. And mind you, my wife is, she was 6-figure earner, right? So we're not talking about McDonald's salary here. We're talking about big numbers. And so losing a 6-figure income is significant for anybody, right? I mean, it's not jump change. And so that's a life-changing amount of money to take away. And so, but she came to me with that. She said, that's what I want to do. And so, we can dig into this more later, and as far as what it means to be an entrepreneur and why entrepreneurs succeed. But that was my why, that's what pushed me for the last year. Was I wanted to, I wanted to allow her to do that, right? I wanted to give her the opportunity to stay at home, be a stay-at-home mom. That's what she really wanted, and I wanted her to do that. But I needed to make up for a whole lot of money in order to do that. And so I pushed, man, for a year. I've pushed really hard. Obviously I can sell, right? I've done lots of sales in my career, so selling's not the problem, just a different platform. And so we took it to the internet world and affiliate marketing, and now software and stuff like that. And so about 3-4 weeks ago, I guess it was, or so, she quit her job, and now she's a full-time stay-at-home mom. And so we were able to achieve, and almost right at a year mark, which wasn't intentional, but it was literally almost right out a year, she was able to quit, and we're still able to do what we got to do. So yeah, man, that's a little bit of my backstory, kind of where I came from, and what drove me into this space, and kind of the reason why I've succeeded, because I had a very strong and compelling why pushing me forward. And I personally think that that's necessary for any entrepreneur, right? Like, you've got to have a why. You have to have a reason to move forward. And it's not just to get a 2 Comma Club award, you know, or something like that, right? Like, we got to have a real strong why that's pushing us. And if you have that, you'll have a reason to succeed. You'll have a reason to take actionable steps every single day. If you don't have that, you're just going to wander around and kick rocks all the time. And you may make some good sales here and there, and may do some great things here and there, but you're never really going to go to the next level until you get something there, you know, that's driving you. And so anyway, that's my personal opinion on it. But
yeah,
that's the Cliff's Notes, man.
I can't agree with you more. You know, I tell people all the time, like, whatever you're doing, money can't be the driving force behind it. Like, obviously, money's going to be a side effect of your success, but if that's your why, you're going to probably crash and burn and fail and try a bunch of different things, because money's your motivator. You don't have a true, like, why. You got to dig deep and find that why. It's kind of funny, like, how similar our stories are. Because my wife and I, like, my wife's a clinical care manager. She's a registered nurse. So she has, you know, the six-figure earnings. And then I was at Microsoft, you know. So when I first started this journey, it was her and I sitting down and me saying, I'm sick of Microsoft. Mm-hmm. I'm done with it. I'm done with clocking in and letting somebody else ruin my schedule. I want to be at home with my kids. I want to enjoy the weekends. I want to enjoy, you know, life as it be. And like, but that hurts, you know, when you like say, well, what are you going to do now? Because like, when you get used to that 6-figure income and the six-figure living, like, you literally have to change everything if you're just going to drop it. And now that I've finally, you know, cemented myself and created a personal brand that's earning recurring revenue, now the goal is to make it to where she can quit her job, you know. So that's our goal this year, is for me to scale to a point of her just being a stay-at-home mom and enjoying life for a while. Because, like I said, she's been a registered nurse since I've known her. I've known her for 10 years now, you know, and she was doing it before I met her, you know. So, yeah. So that's kind of our driving force. But I think it's funny how you landed up like building friend or foe. You know, so you said that your background is HVAC, and that's kind of what you've done your whole life. Now, I imagine running a successful 7-figure company, you had to learn a little bit of tech and some business management. But how did you actually land on, okay, I'm going to create an extension? And like, was it you're getting a ton of friend requests and you just got the idea of like, fuck, if I could just automate this friend request thing? Or did somebody come to you and say, hey, Alan, do you know how to figure this problem out? Like, how did you land on the idea for friend or foe?
No, it was pretty much just me, you know, having that problem. You know, I had 1,000 friend requests, and I was finding that there's no way that I could spend my time sitting there going through these friend requests, right? There's no way that I could vet them. My time is too valuable for that, right? And so, you know, I'm looking around and I'm like, there's literally no solution to this. Like, there's nothing that I can do with these friend requests. I can either ignore them, or I can just mass accept them all, and who knows what I'm going to get, right? I'm going to get some mail order brides and some pastors from Bolivia wanting me some money from me, and who knows what, right? Or, I mean, really, that's the only options, right? Or I can just literally spend every hour of every day just going through vetting. Okay, do we have friends? Are we in the same Facebook groups? You know, do we know each other? Blah, 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 whatever. Okay, yeah, I think I can accept that person. And nobody has the time for that.
Hey,
and so it was a severe pain point for me. And I knew that if it was a pain point for me, it was a pain point for everybody else using Facebook, because I knew that there was no solution for that. And so really that was my driving factor. I just said, you know, hey, look, I've got a severe pain, and I know that if I can create a very good solution, not a mediocre solution, not a crappy, you know, kind of okay solution, like a really good solution to this, then I know that it would benefit a lot of people, and a lot of people would jump, you know, on board with it. And so that's what started it. And of course, as you know, it also kind of very quickly took form into more than just vetting the friend request, but driving them to your offers and to your groups and wherever you want to drive them to. And so it's turning those friend requests into leads. And, what we have to remember with organic marketing and marketing on Facebook in general, is that, all of these are all sales potentials. These are all opportunities, right? And so most of these people, now there's a couple of fakes and spammers and there's some junk in there, but most of the people that send you a friend request did it for a reason, right? Like they wanted to connect with you because they saw something that you posted, they read something you wrote, they saw a video, someone was talking about you in a group, and like whatever, right? Like someone, for some reason, they sent you that friend request. So they're stuck their hand out already, which means they're already a warm lead. These are not cold leads. Yeah. And so people fight and spend all this money every day, tens, thousands, whatever dollars on Facebook ads to reach cold traffic when you've got hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of warm leads sitting right there in your friend request that you didn't even know you had because you just chose to ignore them like everybody else does. And so that's the big thing about it, right, is that these are warm leads. These are people that already want to connect with. They've already stuck their hand out. And all I got to do is reach my hand back out and say, hey, nice to meet you. Have you heard about X? Can you should go here and check this out. And so it works really well, for that.
I will say that just about every sales call I've booked over the last 3 weeks is because of friend or foe.
That's awesome.
And my group has more than doubled in size because of friend or foe.
That's amazing.
And it's simply just like he was saying, like I've just had fucking tons of friend requests sitting there. I'm not messaging them. I'm not doing shit with these people because I don't have time. I turn on this extension in the morning. It's just cycling these messages and people respond. Yeah, man, I saw that post in the group. I saw this. I saw that. Hey, yeah, dude, this is super cool, because they expect it from me because I'm like very open. Like, dude, I automate everything. Every chance I get to eliminate a human action, I do it. So they just, if they're adding me as a friend, they expect some sort of automation in the first place, so it really hasn't thrown off my audience. But we really dug into friend or foe last time. So I want to dive in a little bit deeper into the beginning phases of friend or foe, right? So did you ever at some point struggle with like imposter syndrome? Essentially, when you were building up, launching it, alpha testing, were there any points in time where like it was just a struggle, like you just had to figure out a problem and it was such a new thing that you had to figure it out? Were there any points in time where you thought about throwing in the towel, or that you experienced that at all, or was it kind of smooth sailing for you?
That's the thing with all successful entrepreneurs and influencers and all that, right? Like people see their successes, right? So they see these people with these 2 Comma Cup awards, 10X awards, C awards, whatever it may be. And they think, and these people seem to have their life together. They seem to have a well-oiled machine, a product, a software, a service, whatever it is, Russell Brunson, ClickFunnels, whatever. And they're making all this money and it all just seems like it's a gravy train. What they don't see is the weeks, months, and years of struggle that went in until that well-oiled machine was a well-oiled machine, right? And so that's what people don't really understand. And so a lot of people see successful people and they just automatically think I can't do that, right? They're like, there's no way I could do that. I can't build $100 million a year company, whatever. And if they really truly saw the failures and the struggles it took to get there, you would realize that literally anybody can do this, right? And so that's sort of a message that I try to preach to everyone. And so even though this is a Chrome extension we're talking about, it is not earth-shattering stuff, right? Like this is not, some massive, huge software that's, it's not the new Microsoft, or nothing like that. This is literally a Chrome extension. But even with something small like a Chrome extension, and we're not talking about tens of thousands of dollars here, but even something as small as that, yes, I experienced a lot of issues with the Chrome extension, right? Mainly because this was new, like nobody had done this before. And so from the very beginning, the day that I came up with the idea and I reached out and I asked people for resumes and I said, I need to find some developers to build this for me. From the very beginning, people told me you can't do it. It's not possible because of Facebook's API and like Facebook is their security stuff, right? Like they don't want you messaging people until you've made that connection, like you're friends with them, right? That's what Facebook wants. And so they said, you can't do it. It's not even possible. And I was like, nah, I'm sure you can do it, So I kept searching and eventually found the right team. And this team is absolutely amazing. Can't say enough good things about them, but But we began working on it, and it was I just loaded revision 17, which is actually like 30 something revisions I've done to the software itself. I just bundle some together.
Yeah.
I literally loaded it like 2 minutes before I got on with you, like just loaded it to the web store. So everybody's extension is going to update tonight. And I made another, I'll tell you in a second what's changed on this one. It's awesome. But it's been constant revisions. And the first 10 or 15 of those was all stuff that wasn't working. Like, I'll give you an example. The very first, very beginning stages of Friend or Foe, when it first came out and I was first testing it, one of the big problems was I was noticing was that if I turned it off and turned it back on again, it would go through my friends list and it would send everybody messages again. So everybody was getting duplicate messages. So I'd send them the message the first time it went through, and then I turned it off. And when I turned it back on, it started all over again. And it was sent everybody. So people were getting 2 and 3 times the same message over and over and over. And obviously I was like, well, we can't do that. Like, we need to make sure it only sends one message and that's it. Well, that costs a lot of money every time you go making these big changes, because now the extension has to make a log, it has to record everybody's name and email address and Facebook ID and all this stuff, right? And it has to say, stick all that stuff, and it has to go stick it in a cPanel somewhere, and it says, okay, now every time I log in, this is what the extension does. Every time I log in, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go through and scan this entire list. I'm going to go over to compare it to this entire list and make sure I haven't actually sent it to someone. And then once I've cleared all that, now I can go back over here and start sending messages, And so that's what the extension does every single time. Sometimes it takes longer than others, depending on how many friend requests you have or whatever, right? And so that was like one of the early problems, the big problem that I had, but we had to fix it because we can't just keep sending messages over and over and over. And so, yeah, I've had problems all the way through it, but, I believed in it. I believed it was a good idea. I believed that it would genuinely help people. And I believe that it has. And so I chose to just kind of keep grinding through. And when we come up with problems, we sit down with the team and we say, okay, here's problems. How are we going to fix this? How are we going to get around this? How are we going to make this better? And then once we got a decent machine going and it was working, and then I created the private Facebook group and I let all the users, join the group. Then I open it up to them and I say, okay, now I'm asking you guys, how can we make it better? What can I improve? How can I make this better for you? How can I make this more user-friendly, right? Like, what features could I add that could help you sell it? Whatever, right? So I've got this huge stuff, and I've listened to everybody, and almost every single thing that anybody in the group has recommended that we do to the extension, I've done, right? And so I listened to all the users, and I can't think of everything, right? And there's always someone's going to think of something I didn't think of. And so we've done that. And just constantly worked on it, worked through our issues. I get issues every day. Someone messages or posts somewhere and says, hey, it's not working. So I got to go and I got to sit down and help walk them through. I'm like, all right, did you turn it on? Did you check the box? Whatever. Did you click save? And so every day, I got to do that kind of stuff. But
now were there like, what helped push you on those times, like when you're just struggling through it? Like, I imagine that sometimes maybe you hit a brick wall where you're like, I don't know how we're going to solve this problem. Were there any like practices or like coaches or anything that you use to help you kind of to push through to see to the end?
I don't know that there would be anything specific. I would just say that this game is all about mindset. And I interviewed Brian Page in my group today, who's, very successful in the Airbnb industry, $10 million with an Airbnb webinar that he's made. And we talked a lot about that. We talked a lot about mindset. He's very big on it. And so am I. And so in this game, I think mindset is everything, right? It doesn't matter if you hit a brick wall here, have trials and tribulations here. It's all about mindset. If your mind is right, then you're going to be able to march through and you're going to be able to succeed in whatever it is that you're doing. If your mind is not right, as Brian put it today, you're just not going to get out of your own way and you're never going to make it, right? And, he said that today and he was absolutely right. So you've got to get out of your own way. You're your own, worst critic, as they say, and all that, right? So every time something bad happens and you're just in there, oh man, why did I do that? Why did I do this? How come I can't do this right? How come I can't get this right? That's limiting beliefs. It's false beliefs. And it's you not getting out of your own way. When you have the right mindset, then all that stuff goes away. And I don't know, man, it just seems like to me, and I've been in business for a long time, and so I'm much more chill about stuff than I used to be. Like, stuff doesn't bother me like it used to, right? So when I come to problems, I'm just much more like, all right, no big deal. How are we going to fix this? And I just kind of sit down, clear head, like, all right, there's got to be a way around this. It's just a roadblock. We're going to find a way around it. We're going to fix it. And so I think just having the right mindset about it goes a really, really long way.
So, do you recommend like any books, or do you personally like meditate? What helps you maintain your focus and mindset?
As far as entrepreneur books and stuff, I think Expert Secrets is probably one of the best books, that you can read. All of Russell's books.com experts, really good. Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. There's a lot of really, really good books out there that can really help you. I see you got your trilogy set back there. I got my trilogy set right here, and a lot of good books. I got a whole ClickFunnels shelf over there, man. It's pretty cool.
I can imagine. You got a ClickFunnels hat on.
Yeah, hat on or whatever. I guess I'm part of the cult, or whatever. But culture, as they say. But but you know what?
We're all building our own cults, right?
We are, but you know what? Russell Brunson is successful for a reason, right? He's a very smart guy. He has built a very successful business. And so this is another thing that we talked about today, and Brian kind of touched on, was that, look, if Russell Brunson is in the space you want to be in, if you want to be in digital marketing, right, or affiliate marketing or whatever, and Russell Brunson is the go-to guy in your space, and he's the one you want to follow, he's like, then you just get in line and you read Russell's books, you do Russell's trainings, and you follow Russell, and you don't listen or go to anybody else. Like, you put the tractor beams on and you focus, right? And that's what you do, because as soon as you get that shiny object syndrome, you start bouncing all over the place and you never go anywhere. And he said, so if Russell Brunson is your guy, he's like, that's cool. Let Russell Brunson be your guy, but listen to Russell Brunson. Listen to what he says, right? He's a gajillionaire for a reason, right? And not quite that much yet, but he's, doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And he said, so just follow Russell. And so, that's kind of where I'm at right now, right? Like, I appreciate what Russell has done. I like Russell as a person. I'm friends with him on Facebook. I talk to him periodically on Messenger and different stuff like that. And I think he's a good guy. I think he's a very, very ethical person, which is hard to come by when you're that big in a space, right? If someone's making that kind of money, it's hard to still be a good human. And I think that Russell does that very well. And so, my personal choices, I just try to surround myself with kind of the things that he's doing right now, right? He's working with people like Tony Robbins and all that, all these big names. And so, so I just kind of try to stick in that space. And so far it's worked well for me, but there's different ways, 100 different ways to skin a cat. Everybody's got their own opinions on that. And that's just mine. I try to focus and not get led astray by all the other stuff that's going on around me. And so that's what I try to do.
Agree. Like, I had a real bad, like my first 6 months of entrepreneurship, shiny toy syndrome was bad. Like every 2 to 3 weeks I was trying something new. And then I found this guy, Billy Jean. I just stayed laser focused on Billy Jean and his training, and I built my first agency to 6 figures in 5 months. Just because I did exactly what you just said. I stayed laser focused. I didn't buy any more courses. I was like, I'm just gonna fucking follow the process and figure this out. And then I figured out that I was miserable and fucking hated it. So I was like, man, all this money is nice, but I feel like I'm clocking in again. It's time to pivot and do something else. So that's when I found .com Secrets. And that's when I created my Big Marv brand and like really embodied the Big Marv character. Because I created my Big Marv public figure, but I didn't really like embody the character and start releasing, branded content until I discovered .com Secrets, and I learned what an attractive character was and an ideal client avatar. And I was like, it was, like you said, it's game changing. Like, that's why I have the trilogy set back there, because those are the books that changed my life, So I couldn't agree more. Like, there's 100 ways to skin a cat, but if you pick a way, like whatever coach or whatever you get, follow the fucking process and don't don't alter the process, right? Like their process works because they already tested the variables and figured out the steps you should take, right? So you can't like half-ass follow someone's process and say, I'm going to take this piece from Billie Jean's course and then this piece from Cat Howell's course and then toss in a little Alex Elliott over here, you know, because now you're fucking up the process, right? Because if he's saying you're going to get these results over here, it's because he's tested this specific process and he knows that work. He hasn't tested his process mixed with the little piece from Cat Howell's that you're doing, right? Like what you're doing over here could be throwing you off. And then I think that's how people get stuck, you know, spinning their wheels doing the same thing, and it's just like you're trying to crack the code and figure out what can I do differently here. And you know, I think that's really the key, is having the laser focus on one thing, one process. You get that automated, you get that working, and you know, you don't stray from the track. I live by the 80-20 rule. 80% hyper focus on one thing, and 20% is like my hobbies and having fun.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's how I try to do it. And you know, I was just thinking something else. You probably saw it or something, but you know, another thing that I've had to deal with lately is people, when you're in the software world, people steal your stuff, right? Like copy your stuff. And so I had somebody, you know, copy friend or foe, and you know, not a whole lot I can do about it. And even if there was, is it worth my time and effort? Maybe, maybe not. I chose not, because in my opinion, in my mind, I was first year, and I will always be innovating, and I will always be ahead of this other person. Like their product is far inferior, it doesn't work as well, you know, whatever. And, you know, I'm constantly upgrading, I'm constantly revising, and I'm constantly innovating mine. So mine's always going to be ahead of theirs. And that's something that you have to struggle with in this space, you know, and it happens a lot, happens every single day to a lot of people I know, you know, Kim Dang, Group Convert, you know, a lot of people have knocked her stuff off, and mine, and Will Bernard, and, you know, Primer. There's just a lot of people that have their softwares knocked off. And so, you know, I had that come to me, and I was upset for, you know, a couple hours, kind of a little bit, but, you know, I knew who did it. I went and I blocked them, and I just said, look, I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm not going to let this affect me, right? This is my mindset. I'm not going to let this affect me. I'm not going to let it get me all pissed off and riled up and out here having little Facebook keyboard, you know, wars with people and whatever, right? Like I'm bigger than that. I'm over that. I'm better than that. And so, you know, if that's what you want to do, then, you know, you do your thing. I'm going to block you, and I'm move on and do what I'm going to do, you know? And so that's what I did, and just didn't even look back. I don't know what he's doing. I don't care what he's doing, you know? I know what I'm doing, and I'm doing good things. And so, you know, like I said, we got that new revision just came out tonight. Just loaded it literally minutes before I got on the live with you. And the two big parts of this revision is now I have an option to turn people into followers.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited for.
And so, and it doesn't work, and I'll have to do an explainer video for everybody. It doesn't work for everybody because both you and the other person both have to have, you know, following like enabled on your Facebook account or whatever. So it's not going to work for everybody, but for anybody that has it enabled already, then it will work. And so essentially what the extension does, there's an extra button now that says make follower. And what it does is it automatically will accept their friend request and then turn right back around and unfriend them. Because once you accept them, they become a follower. Then you can unfriend them, but they stay a follower as long as following is enabled in their account. And so that's what it does, is accepts and then unfriends. And so you don't use up any more of your friend space. It just turns them into followers, and then they start following you. And then the other thing was I added another line item to where you can upload all of your messages to Google Sheet. And so that way you don't lose them when we do updates or anything like that. You can just, every time you create, because we have a spot for 10 messages, you take your messages, put them in a Google Sheet, just store them and save them somewhere. And if you save them, you lose them, you have to reinstall your extension, something happens, computer crashes and burns, whatever, everything's in a Google Sheet. You can just go grab the Google Sheet and load them right back into your extension when you reinstall the extension. And you never have to worry about losing that. So those are the two big changes that are coming up tonight sometime.
I remember a while back you released a revision, and I don't know if it's because of my personal request or several people requested it, but it was if you've already had a conversation with them, don't send the automated message. Right? I think I posted a screenshot and was like, hey man, is there any way to disable sending it if I'm already talking to them? You know, and then there was the the variation messages. Like that was the other thing. I was like, man, I need some variations in here because I love testing different copy and like. And then it wasn't even 2 or 3 variations. It was like, I'm going to give you 10 messages. So I was like, fuck yeah, okay. Good thing I bought that extra receiver pack, so I got 10 messages out the gate. But.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when it started, it just could send one message. And, you know, the problem was people were having to set it at like 60 minutes, you know, or more to keep Facebook off their back. Well, that means if you're doing it during the day while you're awake, you might get 10, 12, 15, you know, done a day, you know, during the time you're up. Well, if you've got 600, 700, 800 friend requests and you're only getting 10 a day done, you're just going to take a long time to get through your friend requests, right? And so, yeah, people kind of said that, and that was something I wanted to do from the beginning, but yeah, a bunch of people kind of jumped on that and like, hey man, can we have multiple messages? And so we worked on that for quite a while, trying to build that into the software. And so I came up with, man, we could do as many as we wanted to, but I came up with 10. And so, yeah, now we put 10 spots in there. So now you can pretty much, as long as you're using different links and stuff like that in your messages, then you can pretty much just let them go, you know, as much as you want. And you don't really have any issues with that. So yeah, that was just another problem that we were trying to solve for people was, you know, I wanted them to be able to use the extension more because that was a complaint from a couple people that canceled their account. They're like, yeah, I just can't send enough messages. You know, I'm not making a dent in my friend request, basically was what they were saying. And so I said, cool, I'll give you 10 messages, you know, and so, you know, so that's what we did. But, you know, just like I said earlier, just constantly innovating, constantly listening to you guys and the customers and, you know, what you guys' concerns are, what you guys' complaints are. And then I take those to sit down with the team every week, multiple times a week. And I say, okay, this is the complaints I got this week. These are the things that people aren't happy with. These are things that people say we can make better. You know, how much of this stuff can we do that's not going to cost me like $1 million, right? Like, can I do this? Can I do this? Is this possible? Is it even possible to do this? And so we sit down and we talk about those things every single week. And if it's possible and it's not some ridiculous thing that's going to take 600 hours to build, then I tell them to do it every time. I don't care. You know, the cost doesn't matter. If it's cost me $100 or $1,000 to implement something, I don't care as long as I believe that it will be beneficial to the users and, you know, it will sell more product, then I'll do it and I'll pay it every single time. And so that's what I do.
So it sounds like customer service and providing value is like at the forefront of what you do. So like, am I correct to assume that like that's kind of one of your driving factors? Like that is one of the things that I noticed you do a lot is you always reach out in your group and you're always there for us, like pretty much immediately respond if anybody has any issues, and you're really supportive. So how important would you say it is to make sure you provide a lot of value and, you know, support for your end users and clients and customers?
Yeah, I mean, it's 100%. It's everything, you know. For anybody that's watching this or watches it later on a replay or whatever, it doesn't matter what business you're in. To me, customer service is 100%. It's everything. That's what's going to retain customers for you, right? So you could go and you can be a sleazy scumbag salesman or whatever, and you can go and pitch some high ticket stuff, you know, and sell it and get a couple sales, but you're never going to get lifetime customers out of people if you don't have incredible customer service, right? And so, and that's what I want to be known for, right? I don't want to be known for achieving some award on the wall, you know, whatever, right? Like I want to be known as the person that made a difference in people's lives. I want to be known as the person that provided customer service that was unparalleled to anybody else. That's what I want to be known for, right? And so that's what I do. That's what I focus on. I challenge you. There's probably very few, if anybody else on Facebook that responds to their messages as fast as I do. When somebody sends me a message and says, hey, I got a problem, I got a question or whatever, like boom, I'm Johnny on the spot, like every single time, right? And you know, and I focus really, really hard on that, and that's why I do well. And I'll give you a perfect example. I have another extension that's fixing to come out, and you know what I'm fixing to say because you saw it. And I made a post. I was
so mad that I didn't get in. God damn it!
And so I made a post, and this is in a private group. This is just for friend referral users only, in a private group. And even above that, I narrowed it down to only people that were lifetime subscribers, right? And I said, lifetime subscribers only. I got a new extension. I basically said, I'm not going to tell you anything about it. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm not going to tell you what it does. I'm not going to tell you anything. But if you'll give me $500 right now, I'll give you a pre-release offer, and I'll do a couple cool things for you. And I told him what I was going to do. I said, that's all I'm going to do. That's all I'm going to tell you. And I said, I'll open that to 10 people, and that's it. When it's done, it's done. And instantly, like 10 spots done. And that was $5,000 in my pocket, right? Like instantly. And multiple people commented on that post, and they literally said, I don't know what it is I'm buying. I have no idea because Alan didn't tell us, but I know if Alan's behind it, it's good and it's worth it, And that is exactly when people said that in that post, like it made me feel so good about what I was doing, right? It made me feel so on point with the direction that I was trying to go, because that's exactly the kind of relationship that I want with my customers. I want customers to say, if he says buy it, like I'm going to buy it. I don't care what it costs. I don't even have to know what it is that I'm buying. I know that he will take care of me. I know that his product is good. Whatever it is that he's coming up with is going to be good. And I know he'll take care of me on a service level and everything else. So I'm cool. I'll buy it. I'll give him $500. I don't care. And so, and the only reason that will ever happen, that someone will blindly give you that kind of money, that someone will shell out thousands and thousands of dollars to me in less than an hour, is because of customer service. And so to answer your question, come back full circle, 100% customer service. Because I take care of people, I can do launches like that. And I'm not doing crazy launches. I'm not trying to make millions of dollars on that. I was covering my cost to build the software is what I was trying to do, which I did. But I'm just trying to cover my costs. So I'm taking, the other people, using their money to cover the cost to build the software, and making them a special deal, in the process. And, everybody's happy with that.
Yeah, sounds like a win-win-win.
Win-win for everybody, but it's all from customer service. That's the only reason that I could do something like that. If people don't know me, they don't trust me, they're never going to give me that kind of money,
Yeah, I think that's key in any business is, trust factor, and that's why, because people come to me, they trust me as their tech resource, right? There's a reason I tell people I can make their dreams come to reality with technology, because I've spent the better part of my life networking with other experts, because I believe we all have our own superpowers, right? So I network with other people so I can refer anybody that comes to me with any technical problem. And so when I refer people, they typically always hire whoever I referred, because if Big Marv says you're good, then I trust whatever Big Marv says,
Right.
And the only reason that I have that is because I've, like you said, customer service. Anytime somebody has a problem or an issue, I don't care. I'll jump on a Zoom. I don't care if it takes 2 or 3 hours. We're gonna work this problem out, figure it out, and get you on the road. So I believe it's really I was raised in the South, and down there, the money in your pocket doesn't matter. It's all about your word and how trustworthy you are. If a man's not going his word, a man's not good for nothing, right? So I've just kind of carried that into my business as well. It's I need to take care of whoever I'm serving and figure out whatever these problems are so we can overcome them and continue the progress.
If you take care of people, if you take care of your customers and you take care of the people around you, then you'll never have to chase money, because money will always come to you as a byproduct. You'll always be successful as long as you're ethical, and as long as you treat people right, and as long as you have excellent customer service, right? And gotta have a somewhat decent product or offer too, right? But but at the end of the day, as long as you take care of people and you're a good human, as I like to say, be a good human, then that will come back to you, and you'll be wealthy, you'll be blessed, but if you do not take care of people and you're not ethical and you're just some sleazy, salesman, then, you're never going to succeed. You'll have very short-lived success in this space. And so it's just never worth it. It's never worth it to risk that. It's never worth it to try to be somebody that you're not, because, it always gets flushed out. Eventually it will always get flushed out, and you don't want to be in the online space labeled as a liar and a cheater and a traitor and someone that can't be trusted, because once that is gone, you're never going to get it back and you're never going to go anywhere. You might as well go, work for McDonald's and flip burgers or something, because you're done here. And so, just don't do that. It's not worth it. Everybody's here. Everybody wants to make $1. Everybody wants to, get cracking. And a lot of us are in the same space, and that's okay, man. There's billions of Facebook users every month that log on to Facebook, right? Like, this ocean is so big. There's no reason to sit here and cutthroat the man standing right next to you, right? It's just not necessary. And so you just don't have to do that. You don't have to ruin your reputation and your image by doing that. Just be a good person, man. Be a good person. Do the right thing. Put your head down. Go to work. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Just do your thing, and it'll come back to you.
So you said you're developing this new extension. Dwayne wants to know if you'll give us a teaser.
If what, I'll give you a clue?
Yeah.
Can't say, but all that I'll say, I think, is what I said in the post before. I think I said this already, but this one is built on the same framework as Friend or Foe, so the UI will be the same. Like, it'll look very similar when you use the extension as far as the user interface goes. It'll look very similar, but this one is more of an engagement tool. And so this one is going to do things on your behalf to engage with all of your friends, every friend on your friend list. And so that's kind of all I'll say about it. But
damn it,
it's nothing super crazy. It's nothing super crazy. But I'm an organic marketer, right? And so this is what I do. I make a lot of money for free. I say free, but without spending money for ads and stuff, right? Organic marketing. And I do that because of engagement. And so the more you engage with the people in your friends list, guys, this is important to remember, whether you're using software or not, the more you engage, the more you talk to people, the more you comment on people's posts, the more you do all that kind of stuff, the better off you're going to be. The more eyes are going to come back to your timeline, the more eyes are going to see your stuff, which is going to result in more sales for you. As long as you have a good profile picture and you got call to actions going on and all that kind of stuff, right? That's what we try to do. But as long as you got that stuff in place, then organic marketing will always turn into sales for you. It does for me every single day, And so this is just one extra tool. It's not as complicated as Friend or Foe. That's why it's also not going to be a subscription-based model. It's just going to be a one-time purchase, I think. And but it'll be good. It'll be good, and it's going to say from the creators of Friend or Foe inside of it. And when they click that link, it's going to take them to Friend or Foe, which is going to result in more Friend or Foe sales. So all roads lead back to Friend or Foe, and all roads lead back to commissions. And the deal that I made with those first 10 people was I basically told them I'm going to give you your own. Basically, you're going to get your own extension. Not quite, but you're going to get your own extension because I'm going to build 10 different versions, and that where it says from the creators of Friend or Foe, I'm going to embed that with their affiliate links to Friend or Foe. So that way, no matter where this thing goes, all over the internet, all over the world, and people they sell it to, and it gets shared and whatever, and gets downloaded. Anytime someone clicks on their version that has their link and buys Friend or Foe, then they're going to get commission for it. And so I made that offer to 10 people, which I think is an insane offer, and hopefully that will result in a lot of commissions for people, And I wanted a product this time around. I wanted something that would go even more viral than Friend or Foe and much faster, because it's still going to result in Friend or Foe sales. So this is kind of, in a way of advertising Friend or Foe even more, because I've got that link in there. But it's still making sales, right? I can still sell it. I can still make money off of it. It's still a good engagement tool.
And it aligns with Friend or Foe, so.
It aligns with Friend or Foe.
I would expect,
Yeah, the user interface is similar. So once you've used Friend or Foe, you'll understand, kind of how to use this. But it does not send messages to, I'll say that too. It does not send messages to a message box, so you don't have to worry about colliding with Friend or Foe in that way. In other words, worrying about like Facebook blocking your messages from going out, like sending too many messages, right? So it does not do that. So I will tell you that as well, so you don't have to have a fear of that. But it's just another tool to help you engage with everybody that's on your friends list so that you're constantly doing stuff on Facebook. Things are always going on. The bigger your friends list, the more active this extension is going to be. So I'll just say that about it. You know, if you only got 100 friends, it's probably not going to do you a whole lot of good. But if you got 4,000, 5,000 friends, this extension is going to be busy. So,
and I will say that like he's 100% right on whether you're using tools or not, because I mean I do use tools to increase engagement, because organic engagement is what drives traffic to your Facebook profile. Right, the algorithm is engineered to only show your timeline to people that you've engaged with or that have engaged with you. And by default, if all you do is post, but you don't really engage, like I think it's 2% you show up on people. Like, so if you have 5,000 friends, you're only going to show up on 2% of the people's timelines, unless people are specifically following you. Right. Now, once you start engaging more, like, let's say you add a new friend, you go to their profile, you like some of their posts, you comment on some of the pictures, you engage with them. Now you're going to start showing up in their timeline. You comment in groups. Now people are going to start seeing like XYZ posted in this group. Check out this post, right? And then you actually get a group invite in the form of that post. And the algorithm is engineered to basically reward people that engage with. Right. So whether you use a tool or not, like engaging daily is important.
Yep, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to create stuff to help you engage more, completely on autopilot. So you're just going to turn it on and let it do its thing. You don't have to do anything, and and that will do it all. And Dwayne was asking if there's going to be a round 2 of getting in there. Yeah, I am going to do another round for the people that missed out the first round. It's not going to be quite the same. The first round was kind of the ultra good deal, and then I'm going to make one more round available for people that missed out the first time around and non-lifetime users. So this is going to be available to everyone, but only people that are in the private group. This is not a public deal. I'm still only doing this to friend or foe users because I want them to have a special opportunity to get a special offer on, a new software before it comes out that nobody else is going to get. It's just my way of rewarding my existing customers. And so I will have another offer coming very soon that I'm going to put out for that. So kind of stay tuned. I think I am going to cap it as well. So I will have a limited number of people, but it's going to be more than 10. So you won't have to quite worry about, rushing the gate. But
I still want you to message me.
I know a bunch of people did. And I felt bad, I really feel bad because this is where my dilemma is, right? Like I have always, and anybody will tell you this about me. Like I've always said, like, if I tell you there's 10 spots, there's 10 spots. And that's it. When 10 spots are done, they're done. I don't go back on my word because I'm not one of those FOMO, scarcity guys that just says stuff and just to get you to buy, and then I turn around and do it anyway, right? Like I don't do that. I'm a man of my word. And so I felt bad because I did the 10 and like instantly some other people started messaging. They're like, oh man, I was at work, or hey, it's nighttime where I'm at. I'm in Australia and it was nighttime for me. Like I was asleep. Like I had no way of even knowing, and I felt bad. It's not really fair to them, but I can't really go back on my word. So,
yeah. Right.
I'm gonna do something to try to help them out a little bit, but but at the same time, I guess that's just one of the perks of being in the group and following me. And you better make sure you're following me first because you never know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do stuff.
Turn on notifications.
I gave away one of these today in my Facebook group, paid to ship anywhere in the world. As a matter of fact, the guy that won it's in freaking India. I got to ship one of these in freaking India now. I give away stuff and all the time. And so that's just what I like to do because I like to take care of people. I like to have fun. I like people to engage with me. And so you never know what's going to happen with me and in my groups and all that. So you might as well stick around and watch. If you see something that says Alan Dean made a post, you better go read it real quick. You don't know what's going to
say. Turn on your goddamn notifications. That's what I always tell everybody. Because like my podcast is the only thing that is scheduled. It's the only piece of content that I release that you will know ahead of time that I'm releasing it. Other than that, is you got to turn on notifications. I don't tell you when I go live. I don't tell you when I do trainings. Sometimes I'll say, hey, free coaching session. Whoever jumps on right now, I'm going to go through your funnel. Let's do it. And you just have to you have to have notifications on if you follow me or you're going to miss out. So, like, 100% agree. I love your style. So, I mean, I can't even get mad at you.
Well, I got another, after I finish this extension, I've got another top secret software that's going to be a full-blown SaaS. It's not a Chrome extension. This is a full-blown software. I literally can't say anything about that because I'm working with another big influencer that we're working on together. It's someone that everybody knows, and I can't say anything about it at all. But it's going to be a real big deal. That's going to be way bigger. Like I said, not a Chrome extension. This is a full-blown software. So I'm working on that, and then I have one other Chrome extension that I want to build, and I have not said anything about that to anybody. But my last Chrome extension, I actually had it in two, and I'm going to combine them into just one really good Chrome extension. But this last Chrome extension is going to deal with groups, and it's going to be the end-all, be-all when it comes to groups. It's going to have stuff that if you're a group owner, there are pain points in groups, and that there are not solutions for, and I'm going to create solutions for some of those pain points, and I'm going to do some stuff that nobody is doing. And so this is going to be this last idea of mine for Chrome extensions at the moment is going to deal with, Facebook groups. And so that's where my focus is going to be on that last one. But that one will take a minute. I've got to finish this one and then get started on my other big project. So that's as much of my future as I can tell you, kind of what's going on in with me right now and what I got going on ahead of me. But stick around and you shall see all of those things come to fruition soon, hopefully.
I'm definitely looking forward to the group one and the engagement tool. So, I'll be test driving them as soon as you drop them. But speaking of which, let the people know how they can get in touch with you. If they want to get friend or foe or follow you, how can they do that?
Yeah, man. So friend or foe, you know what? I'll just I'd actually just rather you just maybe post your link in here when we're done or something, put it in the comments or whatever, because the Friend or Foe has an amazing affiliate program, and I want affiliates to make sales and commissions and money, right? Like I want them to do that. And so I would prefer that people use their affiliate links and get sales. So I would prefer, if you guys are interested in Friend or Foe, if you're not users, I would prefer that you use Big Marv's link here and not just go straight to the site. Show him some love and give him some support for doing that. And so I would prefer you do that. So you can do that. As far as my group goes, I have a URL that will take you straight to my Facebook group, and it's www.joindagroup.com. Duh as in D-A, dog, apple. Joindagroup.com, and that will take you straight to my Facebook group where you can join. Make sure you answer the questions. If you don't answer the questions, you won't get in the group. But do lots of cool stuff in the group. I interview lots of A-list influencers, lots and lots and lots of people kind of at the top of their game, multimillionaires. And I do that only to provide value. It's never to sell anything. And I give, really what I did kind of last year was I went to the group and I said, hey, give me the top 10 like out of your Dream 100. And I'm going to go and I'm going to chase down every one of these people and I'm going to get them in here for interviews. And that way I'm going to chase down the people that you're looking out for the most, you're looking up to the most, so that I'm going to give you the opportunity to sit here and type and ask them questions yourself. Like that's what I want to do for you, And so that's what I did, and I went and got Jim Edwards, Dave Woodward, Steve Larson, Julie Stoian, Spencer Meekum, man, it's such a long list of Rachel Peterson, Marley Jackson, all these people, and I got them in here. Blake Newbar, been in like 3 times. Brian Page, we did today. Akbar Sheik, James Smiley, all these people, and I brought them all in. And so I'm giving everybody the opportunity to come sit in on the interview and ask questions to the people that, that are in the space that you want to be in. And so that's what I try to do most of in the group. And I do that for everybody. And once again, it's a free group. I'm not there to sell anything. I'm not saying sales don't go on in the group. I'm just saying that's not my focus point in the group. My focus point in the group is just to provide value. And I literally want to give people the tools and the resources they need to succeed. That's what I want to see. I want to see people succeed. And so that's what I do in there. So would love it if you're not in the group to join the group and see what you can find in there. And hopefully there are some tools and resources that will help you in your journey.
But yeah, again, guys, I was joindagroup.com. Check out Alan Dean's group. Answer the questions to get into the group. Because just like the wave makers, that's the only way to not get into the wave makers if you don't answer the damn questions. Mm-hmm. So answer the questions, get in the group, and check it out. Alan, you got any last words for the audience before we get out of here?
I just want to, I guess, just kind of reiterate on a little bit on what I touched on earlier, which is just that I want everybody to know that anyone can do this, right? Like I literally want to make sure that you believe that. And, I'm a guy that works at 9 to 5, if you will. So I work a full-time job. Whether or not I work 9 to 5 every day is immaterial, but I work a full-time job. And up until my wife quit a couple weeks ago, I was working a full-time job. I was coming home. Okay, let's back up right before coronavirus because that changed everything. But right before coronavirus, I was working a full-time job. I would come home in the afternoon. I would pick my kids up from school. I would bring them home from school. I would do homework with them. I would cook dinner every night. I would get them ready for bed because she's not getting home until like 7:45, 8 o'clock at night. I'm doing all this stuff. So I'm working a full-time job and taking care of kids and doing dinner and getting them ready for bed, doing all this stuff. She gets home at 8 o'clock. Then we have a little bit of family time. Then the kids are off to bed. Then I got to sit there and spend some time with her. All that stuff, right? My schedule was as full as anybody watching this. I promise you. Like I had no time in the day. But my wife came to me and we decided that I'm going to go on this journey. I'm going to make this extra income, even though income was not my focus, right? My focus was supporting my wife's decision. I just knew that we needed to replace her income, but, I set out on this journey to support her in her decision to want to be a stay-at-home mom. And that's what we did. And for me, what that looked like was like 10, 11 o'clock at night when I got started working here in my office. Came in here after everybody else is asleep. After she went in there, she laid down, she went to sleep. I was like, okay, now it's time for me to get to work. Come in here, do my work. I do the 1 funnel away challenge, do my homework every single night, read some books, do all that stuff every night. And sometimes I'm up till midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, back up at 6 o'clock next morning, go back to work, But that's what I did because I was committed. And I said, I'm going to commit, I'm going to succeed in my journey. And that's exactly what I did. And so for anybody that says, I can't do it, I'm kids, I'm a single mom or I'm a single dad, I don't have time. Me too. But I did it, and that's a limiting, that's a belief, that's that mindset that we have to get over. So I promise you, if you have a compelling why, if you have a reason to be on this journey, you will find time, you will find a way to make the time to put in the effort that it takes to succeed, right? And so, anyways, I just kind of want to remind everybody of that and just let them know that even me personally, I had as full of a schedule as you could possibly have, but I still managed to put in the time and effort to make this work. And I've done very well in this space. I did about, I don't know, I think in January alone, I think I did $20,000 in affiliate commissions alone, just with like, ClickFunnels and stuff. And so it's, I've been doing really good in this space, but it's because I worked really hard at it and I didn't give excuses. I didn't beat around the bush. I just went to work. And so if I can do it, you can do it. Put your head down, keep your chin up, get to work. And if I can ever help you with anything, please feel free to reach out to me, message me anytime. I'm not the kind of guy that's just going to try to sell you stuff. I'm literally always there to help, and I will always answer questions and help anybody any way that I can. And that's just me. That's my personality. So anyway, that's my parting words of wisdom and my parting words of encouragement to everybody.
Well, thank you again, Alan, for being on the show. And you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to tune in next Friday at 6 p.m. PST, where I'll sit down with another entrepreneur and share their story. This is Big Marv. Thank you guys for watching. One love.